Welcome to History and Future of Mostly Higher Education. So that's it. Today is our final session, the conclusion of the history and future of mostly higher education. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. And I especially hope you enjoyed that interview with Dennis Quaintance in Greensboro, North Carolina. In so many ways, what he and I talked about together sums up the key points of this course. If I had a little imaginary bullet points coming from my mouth, this is what the key points might be. Here's a key point. We have to use history purposefully. We should use the past to think about the shape of the present and to help us imagine the future. Remember, Dennis said, it would be arrogant to think we invented daylight. By that he meant a sustainable hotel partly has to go back to pre-modern times and think about how we did things before we used so many unsustainable modes of technology and equipment to light our lives. Using daylight seems like a simple idea, but it's a breakthrough. It means going back and unlearning, and that's the next point, unlearning our preconceptions about how things have to happen in the modern world in order that we can get rid of a lot of habits we've learned from the industrial age, in order to be able to be open to new ideas, new solutions, including sometimes some pretty old ones, in order that we can shape our future, live more happily in our past. Another thing Dennis and I talked about was the name of his hotel, Proximity. Everywhere, wherever you are watching this and participating in this course, wherever you are, great things are happening. I love the metaphor that within a 100-mile radius, there's something new that can happen or that we can make happen. But we can't be provincial. Just because we're taking advantage of the new and we're open to the new doesn't mean we must be provincial. In fact, it's important to learn from those around us, but also to share and learn globally. Remember, one of the mottos of this course is difference is not our deficit, it's our operating system. Difference is not our deficit, it's our operating system. Here's another thing. This is a MOOC, but it's not just a MOOC. If it's only a doc on the laptop, that's no better than being the sage on the stage, the lecturer with one important hierarchical truth to pass to everybody. The whole point is how we can use these new technologies for peer-to-peer learning, how we can learn the future together. That doesn't start with this course, it doesn't stop with this course. I hope that you will remember in everything you do, and I certainly have learned this from you in the course of this MOOC. The idea of seeing something, doing it, teaching it, sharing it. Do one, see one, do one, teach one, share one. If you see something that's interesting, try it out and tell somebody about it. Try to teach somebody else that method. Pass it on. Knowledge shouldn't stop with me. It shouldn't stop with you. It should always be something we pass on. Another thing I talked about with Dennis was what it would look like to change tax laws, to change how we counted the bottom line. So sustainability was part of that. That goes to our idea of making sure we value what we count and making sure we count with what we value. If our assessment systems don't change, we can't really change the ways we learn and teach together. It's so important to think about how we measure, to really think about what we want to measure meaningfully, sustainably, for our lives and for future generations. Dennis didn't go to college. I have no idea what educational background any of you have. And the point is, higher education isn't just school. Higher education is a life of learning. Anytime learning, anywhere learning, all the time learning, always being open to learning, which is the same thing as saying always being open to productive change, to being able to learn new ways of doing things, new habits. That's as much true for our institutions as it is for ourselves. Our institutions can be just as fixed and habituated and stolid and solid as we are in our own behaviors. So we need an education system that promotes the value of change and that models it by changing as well. Change happens best by making alliances with other change makers. I hope through this MOOC that maybe you've met people online who've inspired you. Use their inspiration to do great things in the world, because a final point is always taking institutional change personally. If we aren't willing to change, if we aren't willing to try to help our institutions to change, why can we count on anyone else to do that? We have to be activists about our learning. We have to be activists about our learning institutions. We have to be involved. We have to model change. We have to help our institutions model change, and we have to think about the ways that perpetual, always, anytime, peer-to-peer learning is in the very fiber of the ways we learn and our institutions learn. One of the great things talking about Dennis Quaintance, and it's why I wanted to end the course with him, is the first time I met him, I said, so what's the moral of this? You and 80 other people in Greensboro, North Carolina, not a metropolis, the small city of Greensboro, North Carolina, learned online and from one another how to build the world's first platinum LEED sustainable hotel. What's the message for that? And he said the message is it really wasn't that hard. And he said from thinking about it not being that hard, we learned two things. One, it's great to be able with your friends to change the world a little bit. But the second part is if we could do it, why isn't everybody else doing it? And that's the final point of this course. If we can do it, why isn't everybody else? If Dennis Quaintance and his friends in Greensboro, North Carolina can learn online and do something as amazing as creating the world's first platinum LEED hotel, why can't we do amazing things? I'm an optimist. I have a lot of faith in you and in humanity. I think we can do it. I think we can learn the future together. I don't think this is about me. It's not about any professor. It's not about any doc on the laptop. It's about all of us working together and learning together. So we filmed most of this course in my office in the Smith Warehouse in the John Hope Franklin Humanities Institute. Smith Warehouse is an old tobacco warehouse that we've turned into a thriving, vibrant, creative, innovative, and interdisciplinary space. Not sure if you can see it out here, but it's a great metaphor to think about what was old becoming new again, a history becoming a future. Just do it. We can do it together. Come on, let's go. Actually, after you. Thanks. Bye.